Okay, so what are the energy systems? There's three energy systems that predominantly are used for combat sports. The very first one is ATP-CP. Um, it's very short bursts, so think takedowns, think not even striking, think takedowns where you're doing a lot of effort in for 1 to 3 seconds. I would say 1 to 10 seconds, to be honest with you. Once you lean towards the 30 seconds, you're doing what's called glycolytic oxidation. So basically, you start burning sugar. So your body and your liver hold a certain amount of glycogen in your storage in your body and in your muscle tissue. So it goes through ATP in the short burst. You go a little bit longer, you're now burning out sugar. And then the last one is you also need to train, like, which is what's called road work. So you see a lot of boxers do that, where they're doing like marathons. Nate Diaz, if you want to use that as an example, he was like a triathlon runner and things like that. So that's why his volume game was, at least that particular fighter, he was just a volume guy. He didn't hit hard. He just never got tired, and he would tire out his opponents until like the third or fourth round, and then he would turn it on and or clip them because they were basically so tired. And his conditioning, because he could recover between rounds in between short spurts so well that the other person would just get tired. So the goal here is to match or do a balance of all these. You can't only be doing ATP. You can't always be doing glycolytic, and you can't always be doing aerobic. Now, because HIIT training in combat sports is a weapon, because the reason being is that it mostly burns sugar, because this is the number one energy system that you're using when training combat sports. So if it boosts your lactate threshold, what that means is the level of sugar that you're burning at a certain point, that burn, the muscle stops working. So when you're able to elevate that lactate threshold, that effort level and the ability in order for you to burn sugar is higher, because your body's able to process the byproduct of the energy system of burning sugar. Okay, so if you push that lactate threshold up, what ends up happening is it causes fatigue buffering, which means you don't get tired. And I don't know about you, but when I'm in great conditioning, it's like a superpower. Like you can be a little lazy to some degree. You can be, you can actually think. If you've ever taken off a little bit of time when you're doing combat sports, a week, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, when you come back, it's torturous. And it's not because of lack of skill, it's just lack of fatigue. Your lactate threshold is very, very low. And that's one of the biggest things that you need to work on when you're training, is figuring out how to increase that lactate threshold so you don't get fatigued when you're actually doing your combat sport. Okay?